निशी अनम्यूट करो, दोबारा से स्टार्ट करो, अनम्यूट नहीं हो आप।
Oh, sorry. Hello and welcome everyone in today's session. This session is the fourth session in the series of Ask the Expert. I am Nishi Verma, your education counselor. The completion of graduation is marked with two kinds of feelings. One emotion is happiness for crossing a milestone in your life, and the second emotion is worry as you wonder what to do next. So, Ask the Expert is an initiative for all those graduates who are puzzled for their career or who are looking forward for post graduation courses and their future. Today, I'll be sharing this platform with educational expert Mr. Anil Somani, who is mentoring and helping students in leading their career from last 15 years. He'll be answering all your queries in this YouTube live session. Mr. Somani is an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and BTech from IIT Bombay. His career started with Times Group and also being vice president of MP Chamber of Commerce and Industry. From 4 decades of experience in diverse industry like pharma, tourism, automobiles, food, beverages, and education. He started first time of business school with intent of creating pool of managers by sharing his knowledge and experience. Without further ado, I would request Mr. Sumani to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nishi, for your kind words and the elaborate introduction that you made. I hope I'm able to live up to the expectations that you have created for the prospective students who are confused and want some clarification with respect to their future and their careers. So
Yes, of
I'll try
course,
to do
sir.
full justice to their questions. So if you have any questions, you can start, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability.
Now, sir will be assisting you with all the information you needed for your career. So the first question comes from the Sachin. He is asking, sir, I have planned to do MBA, but I am afraid of placement as in the current situation, there is very less hiring. So, will after 2 years, will job scenario will change? Will it be boom or the situation will remain same?
Okay, this is a question, Sachin, which is in the minds of lots and lots of students who are actually wanting to do MBA or PGDM right now. So, well, yes, the pandemic has upset the apple cart of a lot of students who have done MBA. But the good thing is that the pandemic is something which is gradually behind us. There are a host of vaccines which are available. So I think very soon we will have victory and we'll win over the pandemic. So if you do and start doing an MBA today, you will graduate after 2 years, and after 2 years, the economy is going to be really booming. One can already see signs of a kickstart to the economy after the ebbing of the second wave, and if we are all a little careful, there will be no third wave. And with vaccination gathering pace, I think we are in for rosy times. And so, 2 years from today, I certainly see a big boom, a very rosy economic scenario, a very healthy economic scenario, lots and lots of jobs at very high salaries, very attractive pay package. So I think you need not worry at all on this count. Uh, Sachin,
Rightly said.
I think pandemic and economy are just no consideration at all.
Yes, of course, sir. Rightly said. Uh, s- yes, we move forward to our another question. This question is from Shreyansh from Instagram. He's saying, "Good evening, sir. I have lost my job and now I'm planning for higher education, but I'm confused whether I should go for MBA or for PGDM."
So this confusion is there in the minds of lots of students, Shreyansh, and I will answer it like this: that PGDM is provided by colleges who have affiliation and accreditation from the All India Council for Technical Education, which is called AICTE. And whereas the MBA is actually a degree which is provided by higher education colleges who are affiliated to universities. Now, these PGDM colleges are standalone colleges. Their fees are high. Their curriculum is therefore more updated. Their focus is on providing high quality education, practical education, and providing good jobs for the students. The MBA programs from the universities, on the other hand, are low value programs, low cost programs. There is no focus on continuous learning. There is no focus on practical education. The focus is more like there is a university syllabus, there is an examination at the end, you clear the examination and you get a degree. There is no job guarantee after that. There is no concerted marketing effort for placement. So therefore, from that point of view, a PGDM is a much better and much safer option, both in terms of learning, knowledge uptake, and in terms of getting a good career. So I think you should go in as far as possible for PGDM. MBA, only one or two places I can suggest, which if you get over there, the FMS is one such place where if you get an MBA, you should go for it. Otherwise, most other MBAs are run of the mill, very ordinary. Next,
Yes,
Nishi,
sir. Next question is from Priya, sir. She's asking, I am graduated from BTech and now want to go for finance as a specialization, and I have never studied accounts, so how will I cope up?
so uh, Pia, huh? Right? Pia asked this question, huh?
Yes,
So
sir.
Pia, before I answer this question, I want to share one piece of information that the ultimate destination or the mecca for all finance specialization professionals is the Wall Street, and the Wall Street in New York City. It is the highest paid uh, job for any professional, and they all, just like all MBA aspirants or PGDM aspirants aspire to get into the IIM Ahmedabad or into Harvard Business School. Similarly, all financial professionals aim to get a job in the Wall Street. It is the ultimate place for that, and it is the highest paying job area in the field of finance. Now, having said that, majority of the finance professionals in Wall Street are BTech graduates. So the background is engineering. So you need not worry that because of BTech, you will not be able to do finance. So that's not true. There is a whole lot of IIT graduates who are there in the Wall Street and many other BTechs who are there in the Wall Street. So the first thing is that finance and BTech, there is no mismatch at all. As a matter of fact, when you're doing BTech, so then there is a whole lot of quantitative area subjects that you do. There are a whole lot of number crunching that you have to do. And since finance also involves number crunching, use of mathematic calculations, etc., more arithmetic oriented, not complicated trigonometry or higher maths. But then the very fact that you are so used to numbers in your engineering profession, this will help you in learning and adapting the finance tools very quickly and very fast. So yes, if you want to do finance specialization, don't be afraid. It's not going to be difficult for you. It's going to be easy, and you will master it very, very soon. And if you want to do that, you will also get a good job.
Yes, yes,
I,
rightly
I think
said, sir.
that should answer Pia. Um,
Yes, sir, you have rightly said. So the next question is from Tanya. According to you, what are the quality of manager and how a student can prepare himself for being future manager?
so,
Quality of
well,
manager and how can you prepare himself or herself for being a
yeah, so
future manager?
I've got both parts of the question, right?
Yeah.
And I think I'll ask the second part first, that how do you prepare for becoming a good future manager? So naturally, the thing is to join a good B school so that you can become a good manager. I mean, you can't do this at home. It is better that you learn all the tools and techniques of being a good manager at a good B school. Now, how does a good B school make you into a good manager? So that's what I will now focus my, having answered the second part of your question first, now I'll talk to you on the first part of your question, that how do a good B school make an individual and turn him or her into a good manager? So I say this to all students of mine, that what is it that we actually teach you in a business school, and what makes a good manager? So a good manager is required to take decisions all the time. And if his decisions are correct, then he is a good manager. And how and that's what we do, that we teach, we give all the tools and techniques to a student to be able to analyze and take a correct decision. And so a good manager takes the right decision at the right time. There are many definitions of management. You know that, well, yes, an effective manager makes the most optimal use of the three M's: the men, machinery, and money. More parameters have now been added to these three M's over the years. So there is also they consider time also as a resource. So resource if time is also added into that, more additions are actually being done. But then that apart, the important thing is that, well, yes, we teach good decision making skills, and these decision making skills are by this methodology and teaching, which we call as the pedagogy, in terms of the case method, in terms of projects, in terms of role plays, in terms of discussions, and discussions meaning regular discussions. So what happens in this case method of teaching is that, well, a problem situation is given before the students, and the students actually discuss within the classroom with the teacher or the faculty member, monitoring and guiding the direction of the discussion. They arrive at the problem, they understand the constraints of the decision making environment, they actually work out all the various alternatives which this company or this company could have had at that time. They use the right criteria for evaluation of each of the alternatives, arrive at the best alternative, and then they come to a decision. When they arrive at the alternative, then this is actually mapped with what the company actually did at that time and how this performance is compared. And this whole process is then stored into the mind of the student for a later use. And when a similar situation arises in the real life corporate situation, when the where the student actually has to perform, and that's when you draw this from your storehouse, from your mind, and put it in actual practice. So that's how this decision making, problem solving, and etc. There are also various methods. We take our students to team building camps, to leadership camps, where they learn how to work in collaborative environment. They are also there. It's also seen how some of them emerge as leaders. And the thing is, there is a thing which is known as situational leadership, when different people come out as leaders in different situations. So these are all the various methods by which a good B school actually converts a student into a good manager. And therefore, and you also asked at the time that what are the true characteristics of a good manager. So, well, yes, you have to have, along with the knowledge of various functions of marketing, finance, HR, these are the various functions of running a business or running an industry. Apart from that, you must have other skills like team skills, leadership skills, problem solving skills, analytical skills. So these are the skills which need to be developed, which need to be honed to be able to get an optimum performance from a student and who is wanting to become a manager. I took a rather long time to answer this question, but I hope your question stands
Yes.
fully answered in every which way.
And I think you have given the short roadmap how to be a manager actually. So
Yeah,
here comes.
so this is.
Yes, yes. Here comes the another question, sir. From Saurabh, he is asking, is it better to pursue MBA immediately after completing graduation or to work for some years and then go for MBA? Is the most common question each and every student is asking actually.
So my answer to that is, you can do an MBA whenever you want. Whenever you want. Immediately after graduation is also a good time. Take a drop for a year, then prepare for a CAT, then do an MBA. Work for 2 years, then do an MBA. Work for 5 years, then do an MBA. Work for 10 years, and then do an MBA. At different stages, whenever you do an MBA, your outcome is different. But each of the outcomes is a good outcome. So an MBA adds value to you, to your career, to your persona whenever you do it, whether it is immediately after graduation or it is after 2 years, 5 years. But one thing I wanted to add to this is that uh, all good B schools like ours, and also all good B schools, and of course including IIMs, they take CAT score as the basis of giving admission to students, and their CAT cutoffs are indeed very, very high. IIMs, of course, is 99% at IIM Ahmedabad, and the other IIMs also it is upward of 90 percentile. And the important thing in this is that the CAT percentile is of course upward of 99. The important thing is the toughest. CAT is the toughest examination in the world. And if you give a gap of 2 years or 3 years, then it becomes difficult for a student to prepare for CAT. So therefore, if you do if you have to prepare for CAT, don't give a very long gap, and maybe 1 year of preparation and then appear in CAT, and that will give you the optimal performance. If you are a working professional, finding time to prepare for CAT becomes that much difficult. You are out of touch with education. Preparing for CAT at that time becomes difficult. So therefore, I'm saying that a continuous education stream and attempting CAT always results in a better outcome. Otherwise, all times are good times for doing MBA.
Yes, sir. Actually, there is a saying: the key is not the key isn't not spending time, but in investing it. So I think the person who's asking for this question, he should go for MBA if he's planning for MBA. There is no other time. Actually, this is the right time to do so. Rightly said, sir.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely correct.
So here comes the another question from Priyesh from Instagram. How to improve accuracy in CAT? So any tips and tricks for clearing or preparing for CAT, sir?
So I think there is a very, very simple answer and a one-liner answer to this question, that there is no better method of improving accuracy than practice, practice, and practice. So I just said a little while ago that CAT is the most difficult examination in the world, arguably, and therefore it's not only so two things are there, of course. In order to get a good score in CAT, you have to have your fundamentals, fundas as they are called. You have to have your fundas absolutely clear, because there are always variations in questions and problems which are there in the CAT examination. So if you're just going to mug things up and you're not going to have your clear fundamentals, then you're not going to be able to get a good score. So that's with respect to that. And with respect to accuracy, yes, do it as many times over and over again, so that you are able, you do not make mistakes and silly mistakes, because speed is also of essence in CAT. So there is a possibility of your doing silly mistakes also. So that should also not be there. Be alert, and if you do get a time, you solve the problem and quickly go over it, so that if they've made a silly mistake, you don't do that. I think that's the simple advice that I can give to Priyesh.
Thank you, sir, for this advice. In the sequence of this question, there comes the another question related to CAT only. Nitin is saying, is it better to take more MOOCs per day or to concentrate in individual subject?
Uh, so how should I answer this question? So individual subjects are also important and mocks are also important. So definitely you must concentrate on individual subjects, because unless you concentrate on individual subject, you will not be able to improve over there. So it is definitely required that you should concentrate on individual subjects. But if you do not give marks, then you would not know where you stand. So both are important, you know. It's important to be good, and it's important to know how good you are. So therefore, there is no either or answer to you, my friend. It is, the answer is that it lies in both the places, you know.
Yes, sir.
So these answers are not so easy.
Yes, sir.
And life, and with CAT,
I
life is
agree with
not easy.
you.
You have to.
So Next question comes from Nikita on our Facebook. She's asking how Delhi is better from other states for post graduation during COVID as compared to Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, and Bangalore.
Okay, so so we are actually now talking about COVID and the management of COVID in the last 1.5 years. Uh, so let me say this, that the management of COVID in last 1.5 years has had different phases in different areas. But largely, Maharashtra has been badly affected by COVID, very, very badly affected by COVID. And even for that matter, even the western area of Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, every area has been affected. Delhi has actually managed to do well in COVID, except for a brief period of COVID wave 2, which was very, very severe, in which there was severe oxygen shortage um, eh, uh, for a maybe a fortnight. Now, actually, what happens in Delhi is, so the Delhi is the focal point for patients from a big encatchment area. So, I mean, nearly, I would say, patients from as far out as 300, 400 kilometers radius around Delhi, for any serious ailment, they all rush to Delhi. So, whereas COVID load of Delhi itself may not be so high, the COVID load within the hospitals of Delhi, because of the influx of patients from surrounding areas, makes it a very, very difficult situation for Delhi. It becomes overloaded for these kinds of from these kinds of patients, and this is exactly what happened in that brief period of 15 days. But otherwise, apart from that, Delhi has always been able to control its COVID waves very well and very easily. And right now, also, if you see this, that amongst post-COVID post-COVID times, amongst the cities that you have mentioned, Delhi has the best performance index in terms of the positivity. It's down to less than 0.1%, less than 0.1%. And we have cases less than 100 for days together now. And now it is as low as just about yesterday's case count was 54. Case positivity ratio was just 0.09%, and the death toll was just about two people. So therefore, Delhi has actually managed to control COVID phenomenally well as compared to the other areas. And in terms of vaccination also, nearly, I would say, nearly 30% of Delhi has had single dose vaccination, and more than and nearly 10% of Delhi has had double dose vaccination, which also is a good statistic as far as vaccination is concerned. So I think, whereas the whole country is actually trying to fight COVID, but Delhi has done, I'll not get into politics here right now, but Delhi has done quite well for itself.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, of course. And unlock has been started. There is nothing to worry. Just
Yeah, I mean, there is a
yeah,
total.
one can follow the precautions, and he or she is safe to go. So yes, sir.
All the students have to do is to have COVID appropriate behavior, get themselves vaccinated, and Delhi is free for them, open. And we are going to have campus classes, physical on campus classes, very soon in the month of August, which we shall start them.
So here comes the last question of this evening, sir. Uh, he's Dave. Dave is asking, I have got 81 percentile in CAT, but now I am confused whether to drop this year or again prepare for CAT or continue with the existing score.
Okay. So this is another perpetual
Yes, sir.
confusion in the minds of students. Actually, the reason for this is that most students, they who appear in CAT, no matter how good or bad they are, they all secretly dream to get into IMA. They all secretly dream to get a 99 percentile. And when that percentile does not come, they are indeed extremely disappointed. And disappointed, I would say like this, that there are hardly any students, very small percentage of students who actually manage to get a score which in CAT, which they had originally thought that they would. So almost everybody gets a score less than what he actually thought that he is capable of getting or likely to get. So a student who is at 90 percentile would think that he should have got 95. The one at 95 thinks that he should have got 98. The one at 98 would think 99, and so on and so forth. So if you are at 81, you think that, well, yes, you have a chance to get 99 next year and you want to try again for CAT. But believe me, I don't advise anybody to do that. And Dave, I will not advise you to do that. Statistically, there is a very, very small percentage of students who are able to improve their score when they repeat CAT. So, and this statistically, this percentage is less than 3%. So if you repeat CAT, then there is a 97% chance that your score in the second attempt is going to be less than that of your first attempt. So if you repeat CAT, there is a 97% chance that you will not get 81 percentile, but you will get less than 81 percentile. So which means what? That you will lose a year and you will also not be able to get a good score. And losing a year is actually something which all of us don't understand the value of. And somebody at my age understands this, that if I had started 2 years late, then I would have been today, I would have retired by now today. So, but the point is, if you start 1 year early, you increase your working life by 1 year, and not the starting working life, but the last working life. And last working life, when you are earning a very high salary, when you are at the pinnacle, at the peak of your career, and you cut short that by a year. So therefore, I would not advise you to even cut short a year of your working life, and also take a chance which is less than 3% of improving your score. Not me, I would not advise you at all.
And I think Dave should believe in himself and do not lose hope. There is a bright career waiting for you. And
Yeah,
thank you,
one
sir.
more thing, and I would like to add that, that at 81 percentile also, there are enough good B schools who will give you equivalent career.
Yes, sir.
They will give you equivalent career. Although you may not be from IIM, you may not have that IIM tag, but then there are enough B schools who give an equal opportunity, equivalent career, and you don't stand to lose anything.
Yeah, he
And
should
we,
not
we
be
at
disheartened
Postima
with
are one
81
such B school.
percentile. He should not be disheartened with the 81 percentile. There are several B schools waiting for you. He should explore, I think. So thank you, sir.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your expert advice. Thank you, all the individuals who have joined us today. It was great pleasure for sharing screen with you, sir. Uh, I think we'll see you and we'll see other people as well next week on same timings. So stay tuned and join us in next week. And you can also text me or any queries if you have. You can note my number. It's 9811354151. Good night, sir.
35415. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
9811354151.
Okay, thank you, Nishi. I've enjoyed
Thank you, sir.
answering all the questions that you've thrown at me, and I hope I've been able to answer them
Yes, of course,
successfully
sir.
and well.
Okay, good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night.